Thank you very much, Frank. It's great to be on the panel with you again. And I want to thank you and the Center for Security Policy, Nancy Menges, and the Menges Project. We miss Constantine. We need him at a moment like this when our national security is in danger again. But anyway, it's a pleasure to be here. One problem with being last or next to last in a morning with so many experts is that by the time you get to this point, I get to the point and I'm supposed to start speaking, is that everybody has said what I wanted to say. My thunder has been stolen, so to speak. So let me summarize some of the things that have been said and put them in the context of U.S.-Venezuelan relations. The administration does have an opportunity. I'm going to be even more brief. You've heard everything here today. The control of the Venezuelan government by the Cuban government. And it's not just some, Reagan knuckle dragger who's saying this. The former president of Costa Rica, Oscar Arias, who's a liberal by international standards, said last week, Venezuela is a bankrupt country run by the Cubans. You've heard about the links with narcotics trafficking, not only what Emily Blasco said, but many other people. You've heard about the links with terrorist groups, which continue. The head of the Colombian Armed Forces said this week that the commanders of the ELN, another 5,000-strong man army, are in Venezuela, receiving safe haven by Venezuela. I could go on and on. What does that mean for U.S. policy? That if this administration was really interested in promoting the security of the United States, security of the hemisphere, freedom and democracy in the hemisphere, they would take advantage, just like Congresswoman Ross-Lehtinen said, and impose sanctions on some of the officials that have information that would be helpful to the United States, such as this Franklin Nieves, the prosecutor who revealed what everybody knew, that the trial of the leader of one of the most prominent leader, if not the most prominent leaders of the opposition, Leopoldo Lopez, who's been in jail for a year and a half under trumped-up charges, were indeed trumped up, and that he was ordered to falsify information and to convict him. There are many others who will speak, but they need motivation. The administration is, I'm afraid, approaching Venezuela in the same way that that approached Cuba. It took, it grabbed defeat out of the mouth of victory. The Cuban government was on the verge of collapse because the last international source of funding, Venezuela, was going bankrupt, and it is. And yet the administration throws an economic lifeline and recognizes it diplomatically. I would not be surprised to see the administration do something similar in the case of Venezuela, and some of these secret talks that have been taking place that fortunately have been revealed because Diosdado Cabello decided that he wasn't going to be left out of this love fest. In my opinion, crashed the party in Port-au-Prince, where the U.S. Special Envoy Tom Shannon was meeting with the foreign minister of Venezuela, and so it became public that these conversations were taking place. I would not be surprised to see a similar outcome to that in Venezuela. What can we do? I'm sorry, the one in Cuba. We have to rely on the U.S. Congress, because the administration is not going to stand up for traditional American values and security. We have to continue working with groups such as the Center for Security Policy, the Menges Project, and any other group that is interested in promoting freedom and security in this hemisphere. And we have to continue telling the truth, the facts, like the people on this panel and the previous panel have done. So let me just finish with that plea.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you.